yet another episode of Hi Events. Today, we are here at the reopening of Alliance Française de Colombo. Stay tuned to see what the night has in store for us.
Thanks, of course, to all the dedication of all the board members, the students, the teachers, also have been very faithful to us all along, and that's how we come to this day, the 3rd of June, which will be a landmark for the history of Alliance Française.
This journey started 12 years ago with lots of involvement and commitment from all the ambassadors, all the presidents of Alliance, the directors, cultural councillors, and also the members. So this journey has taken a long way. 12 years down the line, we had to regain, our target was to regain the lost heritage. We have regained our lost heritage today after 12 years, which is also very sentimental to me, because when we walked into this building, I was feeling that I was sharing this with Excellency also. We'll never be able to come out of this rut that we are looking at. But today we have made it, thanks to the generous funds that we received from Your Excellency, from the taxpayers in France. Thank you very much. We must convey our gratitude towards the citizens of France for contributing that money to us, and also the money which we collected from our earnings.
Ladies and gentlemen, dear friends, it's a very important moment for us because, of course, as Sujit said, it's a long journey. It's a 12 years journey to go from the very difficult beginning to these days. We are now ready to give to Colombo again what was the Alliance, so a very important place for culture, for French teaching, and for some ideas on pedagogy, or also the place to exchange ideas.
Thank you for this magnificent reopening of the Alliance. C'était à l'Alliance Française de Board Place que j'ai débuté ma carrière diplomatique. So for all the students who might be wanting to learn French, here's a good incentive. This closeness to France and the French language has always enhanced my enjoyment of the company I keep. It's really been another dimension to my life.
Since you went away, the days grow long, and soon I'll hear a winter song. But I miss you most of all, my darling, when autumn leaves start to fall.
Also, yes, flowers and champagne for Niranjan, Silva, and for Ishan, and for the compliments of the French Embassy. Thank you, Ishan and Johan, and for the wonderful Dialog Ch concert here today. You're on home soil with what you did.
I'm here with Eric Laviatou, Ambassador to Sri Lanka from France. How are you doing this evening?
Fine. I must be even happy.
How does it feel to see Alliance Française de Colombo open after 12 long years?
We had 12 years where Alliance Française was out of this building, but now we are back. So we are extremely happy to be back. We refurbished this building for nearly a year. So you can see that's the first day, the first evening that we have something that is a very, very moving opening for us.
So Alliance Française de Colombo has been around since 1955. How do you think the organization has contributed positively to the Sri Lankan culture?
Well, I think you can. We have with us the foreign secretary, and she's speaking perfectly French, and she learned French here in the Alliance Française. President Chandrika Bandaranaike Kumaratunga was also a student, and then for a short while a teacher at the Alliance Française. So we can say we contribute in very important manner to the, let's say, the politics and the civil service here in Sri Lanka. But of course also for the culture, because it's a very important part of our work in Colombo and in other parts of Sri Lanka. But we try, and it's first of all a center to learn French and to learn French culture. So well, we are very proud to give to the students, the students of today and the students of tomorrow, this very nice building.
Wonderful. And what is your vision for Alliance Française de Colombo?
Well, of course, we had, as everybody in the country, we had 2 years nearly without events. So we are going out of this period. The period is complicated for the country, but we are very, very convinced that after some months, things will go back to normal. And of course, our goal, our main objective is to have this kind of events, like painting, singing, and event. And of course, class of French for students. You see, we have some students here, enjoying the night. So, well, of course, that's the idea. It's to bring culture, to bring and to exchange between the Sri Lankan culture and French culture. It's very important for us. We are here to exchange, to have different experiences. So it's very useful for us to have these tools, these very important tools.
Joining me this evening is Janaka Balasuri, President of Alliance Française de Colombo. How are you enjoying your evening?
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here because this is the relaunch of Alliance Française de Colombo after so many years. And as you can see, there's a lot of fun, smile, and excitement all over, because all these members who are like a family, and there are a tiny minority in Colombo who speaks French, and we've started Alliance Française de Colombo in 1950s as the sole cultural organization or the cultural center of the affiliated to the Embassy of France in Sri Lanka to promote language, French language and French culture. So up to date, they have been imparting knowledge and sharing a lot of cultural insights and events with the Sri Lankan crowd. We are happy to say that we have relaunched this alliance and refurbished this premises with a lot of new additions into it. We have a very sophisticated French library, a videotheque, and a gallery where you can, expose a lot of cultural events in the future. So it is also a golden opportunity for Sri Lankan students, especially who are aspiring to speak French and learn French, to come along. And even for professionals who are keen on learning a classy language like French, to come to Alliance and join our courses. They are online and on-site both. Maybe and you can have a glance of how French culture works and how excited as a culture this whole scenario is.
Okay, and obviously French is a very beautiful language. How do you think it has enriched the lives of Sri Lankans?
If you take it as a foreign language, it's It's been limited, not much popularized as other European languages, comparing to English or any other language. But there are so much academics, professionals, and students who are pursuing French at the moment. And as you know, French is one of the UN recognized international language. So if you have English along with a language like French, that will be an added advantage. For example, if you say, I myself is a lawyer, but I speak French, so that has carried me a long way. And a lot of windows and doors will be open for you if you know your French.
So what advice would you give someone who's interested in learning French?
Yeah, that's what I said. Parents, young parents should make sure that they bring in their children to Alliance to give them a not only linguistic education or pedagogy, but also to give them the cultural oversight. It will open up a new world for them. They will have a glance of how European cultures work and try and understand their mindsets. It's very important. I think being island nation, we should embrace cultures, foreign, European as well as, so that's the whole point, Yeah, so I encourage the Sri Lankan population, Sri Lankan nationals to come to Alliance and make use of these facilities. If you become a member or a student, you're allowed to partake, in all the cultural activities that is happening in this center.
Greenwood. Are you enjoying your evening?
I'm having a lovely evening, yes.
How do you feel about Alliance Française de Colombo opening its doors after 12 long years?
I think it's amazing. I actually remember back when it wasn't, seeing it so refurbished and so beautiful is just stunning. And hats off to all the amazing people that made it happen. So wonderful, yes.
Do you speak any French?
Unfortunately, no. But maybe in the near future, who knows?
And would you come to Alliance Française?
Definitely. It's a must if you want to learn French. So whoever's watching and you want to learn French, definitely come here.
And what did you think of the Delano brothers' performance tonight?
Oh, they were spectacular. Every time I see them perform, it just mind blows. It's mind-blowing, honestly. It's just wonderful, yeah.
What are your thoughts on this organization that has such a colorful history?
I honestly think it's amazing, and when you come here, I love how they've incorporated a lot of art as well. So it's not only showing the French culture, but it's also showing the Sri Lankan culture in its own way, which I think is just fabulous and such a beautiful place, and yeah.
I am here with Bruno de Bach this evening. I hope I pronounced your name correct. How are you enjoying your evening?
If you pronounce my name perfectly, already you passed level 1, so it's fine. Yeah.
Good to know. What do you think of tonight's event?
Well, I would say, it's a very pleasant success. We've been waiting for this time for so many years, and it went very smoothly, I think. So a lot of work, but very enjoyable. Yeah.
And how does it feel to regain this heritage after 12 long years?
Wow, there's a lot of joy, there's a lot of satisfaction, there's a lot of stress who's suddenly gone because this is our home. And there was some misunderstanding, but the past is the past. So now everything, we are back here in a fully renovated place that we did thanks to the generous support of the French Embassy. And so then we had to follow up and to make sure that we did exactly, it was a kind of a blessing because it was a chance to start from scratch, to do a proper alliance that we need nowadays, and with all these cultural spaces, these classrooms, and this cafeteria reception, so to make sure that we can welcome the Sri Lankan guests, students, and visitors the best way we can.
And now that Alliance Française de Colombo is back where it truly belongs, where do you see it going in the future?
Well, as I think we are there to go on our missions, just peacefully, calmly, And the missions of Alliance is simple, is to give a chance for people to expand their territories, to expand their abilities to speak another language, which is the French language, which can give you a different vision of the world, I guess, and but also to broaden people's cultural horizons by all this. We have an exhibition today, we'll have a conference soon, and also it's a chance to get exchange ideas. Because you know when you come with an idea, I come with an idea, we come back, we both have two ideas in mind, so that's the beauty of the cultural exchange, I guess. So this dialogue between cultures, this dialogue between people with important topic. We are going to have an exhibition on the 16th of June about the landmine issue. We don't talk about only artistic culture, but also about societal culture. So it's also an issue we want to talk about, to share, and to see how can we go from there, and what's the situation, and how can we improve things the best way we can. Yeah.
I am here with Ms. Aruni Vijayawardena. A woman has contributed greatly to the history of Alliance Française de Colombo. How are you doing this evening, ma'am?
Very well, thank you.
You've been studying French since you were 13 years old. Can you tell us a little bit about your journey?
Yes, I studied French at the Alliance Française when I was 13 years old. And then thereafter I joined the French Alliance Française to teach French. And I was part of the Alliance Française when it was at Ward Place many, many years ago. So I'm very pleased to be here at the opening of the new Alliance Française and to see that French language teaching is continuing in Sri Lanka. Yeah.
And how would you say that the French language has contributed to your life?
Well, it has contributed a lot to my life because after I finished teaching at the Alliance, I joined the Sri Lanka Foreign Service. And then in the course of my diplomatic career, I think the fact that I had studied French and I knew French language gave a whole new dimension to being a diplomat in the Foreign Service. Thank you.
And what advice would you have for anyone who's interested in learning French for the first time?
Well, I would say just go for it, learn French, because today there is a big emphasis on what is called multilingualism, and that means not only speaking another language, but the ability to look at the world from the perspective of another culture. So I would greatly encourage everybody to learn French like I did.
Here with Mr. Dilip Samarsingh. How are you enjoying your evening?
Very much so, and because actually I have seen this, this center develop. It was some months ago. It wasn't as nice as it was now. So it's a nice, very nice opening, and we were able to sort of, I think, show a little bit of French culture, and also this art exhibition is also very beautiful. So that's it's a good start. I think it's a start. And I think, the Alliance is a kind of little piece of France in Colombo, so hopefully that's what we will be able to convey.
And how do you think that Alliance Française de Colombo has contributed to Sri Lankan society?
Well, actually, Sri Lanka and France are not naturally connected, unlike, say, the UK or through language or anything like that. But the Alliance Française has been like 67 years or so in Sri Lanka. So there's always been a few Sri Lankan people who have had a connection with France. And actually, in my case, I actually grew up in Paris because my father was working there. So actually, I speak the language and things like that. And at the moment, I'm on the board of the Alliance. So so I'm involved in such activities too.
Wonderful. And what would you tell anyone to encourage them to speak French?
Well, I would say that, first of all, it's a very nice language. But more than the language, I think some of the speakers today also say it's the culture. So you can learn the language at different levels. I would say the most basic is to learn to speak the language. But as you learn more and more, you learn more and more about a culture, civilization. And it's very enriching, I would say. That's what I can say.
And what do you love the most about French culture?
Well, a lot of things I like. I know it's a country I know very well. So I would say I like their general attitude towards life, which is not too harsh, and they also enjoy the comforts of life, the French people, and they enjoy quality of life, and also a sense of freedom, which is very deeply ingrained in their culture.
I am with renowned author Ashok Ferry. Mr. Ferry, how are you enjoying your evening today?
Oh, I'm enjoying it too much. Absolutely too much.
What do you love the most about French culture?
Just about everything. I love the food. I love the pictures. I love the architecture. There's actually too much to say about French culture, but mostly the food, I would say.
Can we expect to see you writing a book about French culture next?
Oh my goodness, don't tempt me. Don't tempt me. You never know. You never know.
Do you speak any French?
Un petit peu, mais pas tout. I mean, just a little bit. I can get by because I was lucky enough to have a book translated into French and published in France, the Ceaseless Chatter of Demons, which became L'incessant bavardage des démons in French.
Very impressed, very impressed. And what is your favorite part about this evening?
I think the fact that the Alliance Française is back on its home ground. It's been a while that they've been traveling nomadically, but now they're back where they belong, and we are so thrilled.
Well, that brings our glitzy evening at Alliance Française de Colombo to a close. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned for the next episode of Hi Event.